Welcome to arcoregermany, to a new video. And today we don't want to make a review. Today I want to make an Armagnac battle. I have here two vintages, both from the Domaine du Berdet, vintage 2000 and vintage 2001. We want to taste both at the same time and see which one is better than the other one. And now we want to start. Enjoy the video. To the Domaine du Berdet I made already a review. I will show you here the link. If you're interested, you can have a look there. I tasted there the vintage 89 and this was a fantastic Armagnac. I really can recommend you to have a look to this review here. And also if you want some more information to the Domaine du Berdet, you can have a look here as well. Very interesting domain, something new, maybe a domain which you don't know so far. And from the two vintages today, I have here two samples. So 5 centiliter samples, and that's a perfect size to taste both Armagnacs. And the procedure is as following. We have 4 categories. First, we want to have a look which is the cheaper one. Then we want to have a look into the nose, the palate and the finish. So these are the 4 categories. And at the end, we will have a winner. If it's a draw, then I will decide with my overall impression which has the better package from these two Armagnacs. I will also give them points at the end, but that's just here not the main topic today. We want to have the battle and see which from these two vintages has the better performance. So now we want to start. Let's get ready to rumble. Before we start with the first round, on your left side you have the 2000 vintage and on your right side you have the 2001 vintage. And I just want to show you a little bit the color of these Armagnacs before we start, because there is a difference already in the color and I hope you can see it. Here on this side we have here the 2000 vintage, and the 2000 vintage is a little bit brighter. It has a nice caramel color compared to the 2001 vintage, which has a little bit more, some hints of red, something more like a copper color. And yes, now we want to start with the first round. Price-wise, we have for the 2000 vintage 90 euros for a 70 centiliter bottle, and for the 2001 vintage the price is 70 euros for 70 centiliter bottles. By the way, you can get both vintages in 35 until 150 centiliter bottles, and price-wise, first point for the 2001 vintage. Just to let you know why there is this big gap between the both vintages, because the difference is only 1 year. The 2000 vintage received a medal, I think it was a gold medal in a competition, so this is probably the reason why the price is a little bit higher. Let's start with the round 2. Round 2, nosing. We start with the 2000 vintage. The 2000 vintage has a very nice nose, a very nutty note, something maybe like intense walnut. A little freshness also, something like a eucalyptus. Some dried oranges and a little bit of tobacco maybe. So 2001. Interesting nose here, but it's not really the kind of nose I like or I prefer. It has a, what kind of note is it? It's something maybe like a lavender, but a very intense lavender note. Too overwhelming for me, because the other aromas, they have almost no chance to come through. Maybe something a little bit in the background like a vanilla and something like a banana maybe. But the lavender is so present here. No. Second round, point goes to the 2000 vintage. So we have here now a draw, 1-1. Third round, palette. Let's have a look first to the 2000 vintage. On the palette also some nuts here, but now more like a pecan nut maybe. A very nice orange, sweet orange. A little bit of pepper on the palette. Very nice. And we want to neutralize a little bit with some water. By the way, if you want to compare Armagnacs or cognacs at the same time, I can really recommend you to use some white bread to neutralize your taste, your palate. And now we want to have also a look into the palette from the 2001 vintage. Santé. Palette, a very oily texture, also some minerally here, a little bit minerally, some oranges, which I also had from the 2000 vintage, and something like an almond, a nice almond note here. Palette. Winner is for me again the 2000 vintage. So we have here another point for the 2000 vintage. It's now 2-1. Let's go to the last round, to the finish. Round 4, last round. We have the finish from the 2000 vintage. Here you have a very nice milk chocolate note. You have something like a black coffee and some dried mango, and there's a very nice licorice left at the finish here. 2001 vintage. Here you have a more intense finish. It's a middle long finish, a little bit longer than the 2000 vintage. Some raisins, some espresso, and also a very nice walnut in the finish. But also the finish, for me the winner is the 2000 vintage. So the result, we have here a winner, the 2000 vintage with 3 points and 1 point for the 2000 vintage. In this case only the price. Is it worth to invest the 20 euros more for the 2000 vintage? Yes, in my opinion it is worth to invest here the 20 euros more, because you get here more Armagnac, in my opinion. This is not my style of Armagnac I like. If you don't try the 2000 vintage, you won't miss anything, in my opinion. So yeah, winner 2000 vintage, and point-wise I would give the 2000 vintage 84 points and for the 2001 vintage 76 points. So that's it for the battle today between the two Armagnacs from the Domaine du Berdet. So what do you think about this new kind of video? Did you like it? Leave a comment, please. I would be very happy if you share your thoughts, and of course I would be very happy if you subscribe my channel here to not miss any new videos and reviews in the future. Thank you very much and see you in the next video. Bye bye.